Tim Ferriss has coined something that has probably been around since the dawn of writing, but no one knew about it until Tools of Titans. And that is writing a journal. It doesn't have to be one of those ones that's nice and grandiloquent that you see in Pride and Prejudice. You don't have to be an upper-class British woman to be like, I don't think she likes me. Is she a bitch or am I? Actually, wait, that's exactly what I'm advocating. You should be an upper-middle-class British woman from the 1800s. Excellent goal in life. Why? If you are doing this, there's two reasons. And the first one is actually that a lot of places that treat depression, the first thing that they recommend, apart from pumping your brain with dopamine and serotonin, is that you should keep a journal. And it's not even the process of making something where something really nice where you have like a memoir, like it's George Bush Sr.'s, good memoirs, good, not great, at the end of your life. It's not even for that. It's purely for the process of seeing what your brain is thinking about. What are its patterns? What are its loops? Because the average human being is only thinking about 12 subjects over and over and over again. Now, some smarter people are thinking of more, and there's some dumb people out there, pretty much just, I don't know, skaters and lads that are just thinking, 2 subjects, 1 mug people, 2 spitting around, specifically at a corner store. If I spit around anywhere else, it's just a waste of saliva. That's what I'm using the economy of my brain for, just to go, what can, to people that are trying to get into a corner store without picking a fight. Not today. But other people are thinking of more subjects, some other people are thinking of less, but the average person with 100 IQ is thinking basically about 12 subjects on loop, and the thing is that when things become more or less important, these subjects change. But it's good to see what those subjects are, because you don't know what they are, and it will surprise you when you start writing these things down, what the things that you're primarily thinking about, because basically 95% of the thoughts that you have in a day are exactly the same thoughts as you had the day before. Your brain just goes on this insane loop. It's scary. It is just a hamster wheel. I reckon it's a conspiracy theory. I think that they just show minced meat every time they show someone's brain. It's not actually that. I'm almost 100% certain that it's just a guinea pig in there that goes and when you go to a neurosurgeon, they just open it up and go, oh, that's the problem, the guinea pig's dead, and they just put in a new one. You know, call me a flat earther if you will, or down there with those people that are of that level of conspiracy, but makes sense to me. So, because your brain is thinking about these subjects, and the way that you improve your life is by thinking of better subjects, and start delving into those subjects. So, for instance, someone who's fat obviously isn't thinking about their diet and exercise, which are two subjects you should be replacing, regardless of what you're doing in life, because if you are fit and you are healthy, you're going to be able to contribute more and get more out of your career, because you're just healthier and faster. When people say, are you saying that I'm dumb just because I'm fat? I always go, no, of course not. But deep inside my mind, I'm thinking, yeah, that's exactly what I'm saying. It's not that you're stupid, it's kind of the same as people that smoke a lot of weed. And they go, yeah, well, I'm still able to do my job, but could you do it as well as someone who isn't constantly baked? The answer is probably no, unless you're some freak ganja lord, which is, I'm imagining just Vishnu, but in all 8 hands he has bongs and joints, just like, pretty much most of the kids that I went to high school, basically. That is definitely what they would have done if they had any wish in life. 6 more arms so I can smoke 6 more cones at once. So, why you need to start shifting this is because that's the first reason, right? Is that you're able to identify what the things that you're thinking about are, so you can replace them with better thoughts, with better subjects to be mulling over. Because you're going to be mulling over things anyway. That's just basically how the brain works. It's pretty much everyone's brain is not only a hamster, but that hamster is Rain Man going, 10 o'clock, gotta leave the table. Just constantly thinking about habits. So you need to do it for that reason. But the other reason is, you also get to identify what's troubling you the most. What is giving your brain the most amount of weight. Because that's always the thing that's going to stop you from achieving your goals. Because you're always just going to be sitting there going, yeah, but it's not fair because there's this one thing that's happening to me, and it's specifically me, and it's that my girlfriend's a bitch. No one else's girlfriend in the world is a bitch, except for me. There's a lot of other things as well, because I'm reading a lot about relationships at the moment, and maybe it's you. Or maybe she is a bitch, I don't know. You decide that for yourself. Oh yeah, it's definitely her, she's the bitch. But there's all these things that stop you from thinking about the main things that you should be thinking about in life, the things that are going to make you more productive, that are going to get you to where you want to go. And the thing is that, first of all, you have permission to feel sorry for yourself for a while, but the next thing that you should be doing is replacing that subject, because that subject's probably going to be in your mind anyway, where you go, yeah, but at the same time, she is a bitch, so I can't play guitar today. What you should be replacing that with instead is, how do you solve that problem? That's a much better thing to be focusing on, as opposed to something where you're just thinking constantly about the problem itself, which is what the human brain is designed to do, because it's designed to quickly move away from anything that is causing it the slightest amount of pain at all, because that's what helps you survive. But in the modern context, because most of these things are just ethereal, not real problems, they're psychological problems most of the time. It's not usually, maybe there's a couple of people watching this in sub-Saharan Africa that are going, might not be a saber-toothed tiger, but it is a lion that is about to eat me. But most people don't have those problems now. Most people have the problems of, Susan at work, it's really awkward talking to her. And those are the things that identify. So you should be writing these things, you should just be writing down, free fall, what you're thinking about on a daily basis for just 5 minutes is what Tim Ferriss prescribes. Just your 5 minutes so you can see the monkey mind. Cage the monkey mind. That's what he's constantly talking about. It's actually a really good metaphor, isn't it, guys? No? Well, works for me. That's the other thing as well, is that you're able to identify it, and then just the act of writing it down makes you feel better. That's why in depression clinics, they're always getting subjects to just write. That's it. Because once that happens, you're able to clarify what the problem is. You're able to see that it's fixable in most situations. Unless you've got stage 4 terminal cancer, most of your problems are fixable purely by reading books on the subject. That's all you have to do. But you have to first identify what the problem is, because most of the time, because you don't like thinking about it, it just lurks in the back of your mind. But if you're able to see what your mind is thinking on paper, you're able to address that problem. That is going to help you immeasurably in your life. There's been huge periods of my life where I've stopped writing for 6 months, maybe 10 months, 2 years, I don't know, I'm running out of battery here. But the thing is, thanks for getting me out of having to admit how bad that is. But the thing is, you should be writing those down, because every single time that I do, not only do I get the feeling of going, oh, that's the problem, but I'm also able to address the problem, and as a result, I grow as a human being. You never have that problem again once you sort it out, because you just acquire the knowledge, because we live in that age where you can do that, and as a result, you're able to share that problem with other people and go, I was like you once. But on top of that, it helps you focus on your main goal. Next week, boom, bye.